Hi, it's 4:30 in the morning and you are getting me raw. I'm gonna start walking and I'm going to be telling my story. I'm not gonna stop till we're done, and this could be interesting. I'm going to change the view, I think. Maybe not. It won't let me. I guess you get me. I'm gonna put my other glove on. It is cold out in the morning. Okay, here we go. So, I'm gonna talk about my life story. I might forget some things, might add them in later. We'll just go from where we are. So I was born in San Francisco in 1970. At age 4, my parents moved us to Goshen County. At age 5, we were living in Lingle, and I started going to Lingle school. I had a happy youth, and let's see, in 4th grade, my parents sent me to Valley Christian School. I was one of the first students there. I loved it there. I thrived there. Also in 4th grade, my parents went on a trip and we had a babysitter who I loved dearly. And she helped me take God into my life. And we're going to get back to that and how I thought it didn't count. And I'll explain why. So, when I was a freshman, or almost a freshman, my parents started video stores. And they decided to buy a house in Torrington. And they told me, we're moving to Torrington. I remember crying because I thought every girl got pregnant and everyone was on drugs. And this is 1983. I don't know if that's how they still think, but especially when you come from Christian school and you hear Torrington's wild. I honestly feel Torrington, I am happy I went there because there was a lot more opportunities. I was a C student. I was always scared and quiet. Hard to believe, but you ask any teacher, I was the quietest person there. I was always so worried of what everybody was thinking of me. Graduated in 1988, and around that time, the lady that helped me take God into my heart, she left her husband for another woman. It made me doubt because of her, I'm not going to say flaw because it's who she is but it made me doubt that, was it real? Did I take God into my heart because she is into another woman? It was the start of, I didn't know if I really had God in my life. Right out of high school, I got married. I was married to him for 3 years. And I left before he could leave me. I didn't want to be hurt that way. And all that time before, I did pray. But the moment I left him, I stopped praying. I didn't think I was worthy of prayer. Now, through the years, and even last year, people are saying, oh yes, you're worthy of it, but I still didn't believe it. If people prayed, I prayed along and said what they said in my mind, but I never prayed and had a relationship with Jesus on my own. I then met my kid's father. We were married 14 years. We both had our problems. I was a spoiled person that was used to getting whatever I want. My dad had nothing growing up, and he wanted to make sure we always had everything. And my husband was used to, having nothing. And he had his demons and I had mine. And I wish him the best. I had a love for him, but I don't think it was true love. But we cared. Almost to the pool. I don't want to say certain things, but there was affairs. He had an affair, and then 3 years later, I did. And when I did, it was over. I didn't want to be with him anymore. I didn't want him to know the true me, the hidden secrets. I went wild. I was promiscuous. Did things I'm not happy to say I did. And it was a wild and fun, but also a very sad life to live. I did marijuana at that time, and I did cocaine once. During that time, when I was sleeping around, I got raped one night. It was bad. I went to the police, or actually the sheriff's, and even later, one sheriff told me 3 people reported rape that month, and I was the only one they knew was real. But of course, in this town, or any town, there's people that always doubt you and think she was wild. She deserved it. It didn't happen. I had people treat me bad. I was told in the sheriff's office the district attorney would get a hold of me. He never did. And I never called him. Because I knew I'd be the one crucified and accused. Through the years, I came to where I had reasons of why he did it. I can't remember the word they want to say, and if I think of it later, I'll say it, but it was a hard time. I was drinking heavily. I was single at this time. And this was 15 years ago. And I was a social drinker, so I didn't drink at home. Unless people were over. But that was a good thing. I knew I was struggling. I knew this wasn't the life I wanted to live. I was working at this time. I quit the bars. I was managing the Bronco and the Toadaway, and that made it only worse for drinking. So I went back to work as managing at Jose Pisano's. I was also cleaning rooms and doing the front desk at Holiday Inn. And one day I told somebody I want out. I want out of Torrington. I don't want to be here anymore. And she looked at me and she said, then do it. And I did it. The next day I gave my notice at both jobs. I applied in Deadwood. 3 different places I applied, I got a job at each one. So I took the assistant manager job at Four Aces at the restaurant. So, of course, everybody thought she's going to party even more. She's in Deadwood. Totally opposite. I turned, because I was a social drinker and didn't know anybody, I ended up putting it all into work. I became a workaholic. My kids at this time, I think, were a sophomore, and one was in middle school. In the 3rd month of working there, I got Employee of the Month. And there had been people there that had been there a while that never got it. But I put myself into my work. The next month, they made me manager of the bar. And then right after that, they asked me to be manager of Holiday Inn Bar also. So I was running 2 bars. I still wasn't drinking except if I came back into Torrington, or once a month I met with some of the locals that I met with the blackjack dealer, a woman who I loved hanging out with. Met some great people there. When I moved there, I told myself I'm changing my life. I only dated. And then I started talking to Charlie. We talked for 25 days before we even kissed, before we even saw each other. He became my best friend. I know there's things I'm forgetting. I don't know what to say. Life has always been where I usually get what I want, and I've had to learn that I don't always get what I want. And Charlie, I didn't want to move back to Torrington. All my life I wanted out of Torrington. And when Charlie and I decided we were going to move in together, he even talked about quitting his job and moving there and working in Rapid City. But he would have lost a lot of money. And I said, I'll move back. Just promise me when the kids graduate, because he had custody of his daughter, that we move. The youngest daughter is 27 years old. So we have not moved. But you know what? It was meant to be. So I ran bars. I managed restaurants through the years. My parents had Jamar's Steakhouse when Christopher was just a baby. I became the head cook there and managed. When I moved back, I was confronted by Tony Marlette, who loves a friend, and he offered me a job to manage the truck stop. First, I didn't take the job offer. I think they asked me for 2 weeks, and I finally said yes. Stupidest thing, good best thing, whatever you want to say it was. It was rough. I usually had 30 to 50 employees. I tried to be the best manager I could be. Some days I failed. Some days I was great. I always knew how to solve a problem. The bad thing is, in this day and age, you make one employee happy, you just made 2 others mad. You make those 2 happy, you just made 2 others mad over here. Most employees don't want to work. The few that do want to work hard are upset because you're not getting rid of the ones that don't want to work, but they don't realize sometimes the ones that were wanting a job were even worse than the ones we had. Unless you run a business like that, you have no idea, and especially in this town, it is not flowing of employees. I did always if a good employee walked in and I didn't have a position for him, I hired him and I weeded out the weak. I learned stuff even this last year. And that takes a person that's learning. You are becoming greater. I knew I wanted God in my life. I knew I wanted to pray. I wanted to pray without bad feelings, without feeling like I failed. And it took till this summer. And I started, let's go back just a little bit. So when the new owner of the building, and we owned the 307, he did not renew our lease. I cried. Not because we were not going to have it. I cried for the employees. I did care about each and every one of them, even the ones I fired. I saw the good and bad in everybody. At that restaurant, we went through 2 murders. And a week later, Mom and I came upon an accident and 2 people died while I sat there. One lived for 10 minutes and I was with her for those 10 minutes. I went through where I screamed every night, waking up screaming 5 times a night. Charlie couldn't even sleep. They put me on PSTD medicine. And it did help. The screaming did stop. And we're going to turn around. We're on Main Street. We were too involved. Employees knew things with the murders. I went to the police every time I heard something. It was too much. The restaurant was too much. Once in a while you get a good compliment, but I took it personally every time someone complained. Even though I can't help that cook did what he did or that waitress did what they did, I took it was my fault. And it took me till the end to start saying, no, I'm doing the best I can. I cannot babysit these guys every second. And you can't. So we ended up in January was the end of the 307. I missed the regulars. I missed the employees. I went to work at the Derby Club for a month. It ended up very vital, and I think 12 of the employees that went up there, it only went down to 1 working still there. I think they can succeed, but they didn't have a plan of action at all. I didn't work for months. I decided I'd take up insurance. I loved studying it, But oh, was it rough. Cold calling hundreds of people a day, being told off. It's not what I wanted to do, but I had to do. I wanted to make money. I quit doing my hair and my nails, even though Charlie said I didn't have to. But I felt if I'm not making money, I don't deserve it. So in May, I heard that there was a job at the city for part-time at the water department. It's 29 hours a week. I started there June 10th, and I love, love, love it. I'm happy every day I'm there. And that's one thing with the restaurant. I could show up happy, and 5 minutes later, because I had to hear everybody's problems, you're already down. So I also started when I was in middle school and I was at Valley Christian School. A motivational speaker came one time, and I said to myself, and it didn't hit me till this summer, that's going to be me someday. I'm going to do that. Now, who knows if I will or not, but I remember that. And you know, they say to look, what did I want to be? Not all of us get to be what we were when we were kids. Some wanted to be a fireman, some became a fireman, some did not. So I started taking these life coaching classes in mindfulness, transformation, relationship, yoga, meditation, Christian meditation, and it changed my life. I love it. Even if I never become a coach, I am just loving what I've learned. It has changed my life. So this summer, I finally prayed on my own without listening to someone else do it. And I knew this is what I was meant to be doing. God's been waiting for me to open my eyes. There's still going to be struggles. There's still going to be unhappiness. There's still going to be death. But I have a foundation. And I might want to look because there's a car coming behind me. But life coaching is different than counseling. It's helping people to achieve the goals that they can't get to. And that's one thing even I never knew. I would say, oh, I'm going to do this, but I never knew the steps to do that. I've learned now how to do the small steps to get there. And you are their cheerleader. You're helping people. And they say to find your niche. Now, your niche is what it could be: a spiritual wellness. I even took health and diet course, and I even took a grieving course. Your niche is something you know like the back of your hand. And some of this I've really learned, but do I know it like the back of my hand? Maybe not. The one thing I do is business and career. How to help someone find a job. I had someone, and I love this person, but she showed up for an interview in her pajamas, didn't brush her hair. These kids don't know what to do. And some adults don't know what to do. Working for people And the reason I succeeded in a lot of places I ever went, my mom taught me to be an actress. Good or bad, but it is good. I was taught to go to work and you're to be an actress in front of the customer. And I was an actress even at church, welcoming people, greeting people. I love them all. I wanted to be there. I wanted to learn. But I truly wasn't taking it in until this summer. Now, the bad thing is I hurt my neck at fair time. And other than that, I am happy. I am happy almost all the time. When you've been so stressed in a job for so many years and stressed because of the life you made, I realize I don't have to be like that anymore. I can be happy and enjoy life. I'm going to be down sometimes. You know, both my parents are still alive. They're in their 80s. They're doing good. But they also struggle at times. I have aunts and uncles who I love all of them equally. I have cousins who I love and adore. And I might not call or see you guys all the time, but I'm a person, I like 5-minute phone calls. I like to just get it over with and done. I like to do my own thing, go home. Oh, another thing, this summer, ever since I started all these classes and changing my life, my screen time, Facebook, I get on to do my daily diary, but my screen time is down 15 hours a week compared to what it used to be. My TV time, unless Charlie gets home, we watch a movie, I don't turn the TV on unless I'm going to watch a podcast. And Mel Robbins, people, you need to watch her. Amazing self-help guru or whatever you want to call her. She's real. Some of her podcasts maybe aren't a little boring, but I'm serious. Watch some. It's going to change your life. I guess that sort of tells about me. The drinking got so bad 15 years ago, I started blacking out. When I moved to Deadwood, I got control of it. I still, once in a while, will meet one of my good friends, Beth Coral, on Thursday or Friday and have a beer. And sometimes just water. But I know my limit, and I know, but if I got too far, I can't do it again. I just want a better life. I want my neck better. I hope I didn't bore everybody down to death today. But that's me. I'm trying to be a better person. For me, not for you. I don't care, because this town, let's see, I came back in November, I bought 5 different businesses. This town, don't believe anything you hear, unless you hear it from the horse's mouth. The rumors in this town, people. Even one person told me, well, you bought the bucking horse. And I said, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. And I said, no, I didn't. Well, my mom told me you did. And I go, do you believe everything your mom tells you? Yes. I go, well, you just learned a lesson. People, unless you hear from the horse's mouth, especially in this little town, it's not true. And if it is a little bit true, it ain't all the truth. It might only be a little truth. And I've been right there in there. But I've been getting better. of not listening and believing everything I hear. Oh, I went past my street. I guess I'll go down another street. Well, I've talked to you for 30 minutes. I just started taking last night in Bible with our church foundation class, and I'm thrilled. It's for the next 8 weeks. Oh, one thing I didn't bring up. So I have an addictive personality. Shopping, gambling. Recently, I stopped the gambling. I don't crave it. I don't mind if I watch somebody do it. I have to better myself. And I gave over all to Charlie, the money, told him everything, and we got to work as a team. And if you're out there right now, and this is you, you need to figure out how to, it's hard to get out of, it hurts. It's not easy, because I enjoyed gambling. I loved sitting there. And if I won, which I did win one time, $18,000, I won $20,000 in a couple weeks. But I started becoming, if I won, I put it all right back in and more. Do things in moderate. If you can't do it, then you need to get out of it. Another thing, when I was young, I was going to Valley Christian School, and my parents owned video stores. And we went to church almost every Sunday, but we started every year going to video conventions in Las Vegas. So I met probably over 50 movie stars. Demi Moore was Prettier in Life. Bo Derek, Brooke Shields, Tom Cruise, Arnold Schwarzenegger, David Hasselhoff. And then in the back end was the X-rated stars. So here I am going to Valley Christian School, or just got out of Valley Christian School, and I'm also meeting the X-rated stars. My life was confusing because it was more exciting. I saw how it was exciting to meet these stars. And it was more exciting than being at church. And so my life was confusing. And it was a good confusing. I saw a lot of things, a lot of things I shouldn't have saw. But now I'm taking God back into my heart fully. I'm getting a relationship with Him and Jesus. And a relationship means I'm talking to them. I'm praying to them. I'm asking for their guidance. I'm not always perfect, and I never will be. I'm still going to grow, and I'm still going to make mistakes, and so will all of you. And so this is the raw me. I'm almost home. I took a short route today. Thank God, you're saying. And I just want everybody to have a better life. Don't struggle. Find how you can get out of those struggles. Don't walk around with burdens on your back the rest of your life. Get in the street, it's a lot easier to walk than some of these sidewalks. Find out what makes you happy. Do those things. I care about a lot of you, more than you know. I need to reach out more. But I'm learning too. Thanks for everybody for listening. I'm sorry I look really scary. You got to see the scary me in the morning. Thanks, and God bless.